And this is the second part of Notes 4, so we're going to be looking at graphing equations using any of the forms. Ultimately, in order to graph it, we have to get it into slope-intercept form. Well, the first two here are already in slope-intercept form, so all we have to do is graph them. So here I notice that we're crossing the y-axis at 3. So we're crossing the y-axis at 3. And then from there, we're going down 2 and right 3. Remember, if your slope is negative, your line should be going down. So I went down 2 and right 3 from that y-intercept. So now I can graph that line. Let's take a look at number 4. In number 4, you're crossing the y-axis at -3. So the thing, or -6, sorry. The thing that's just a number is where you cross your y-axis, which is -3. Then my slope is 1/4. So that means I'm going up 1 and over 4. Again, I can connect those two dots, and I have my line. Hopefully you connected it better than I did, because that was a terribly drawn line. So let's take a look at 3 and 4. So 3 and 4 get a little bit tricky because we need to put them into slope-intercept form. So we have y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x plus 1. So in order for us to graph this, we need to distribute in that 2. So then I have y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x, which is 2x, 2 times 1, which is 2. So I've now distributed that. The last thing I need to do to get it into slope-intercept form is I need to add 3 to both sides. So then I get 2x, and then 2 plus 3 is 5. So I get y is equal to 2x plus 5. So we're crossing the y-axis at 5. And then I'm going up 2 over 1, which is off of my graph. So remember that two negatives also make a positive. So we're used to going up 2 over 1. Well, you could also go down 2 and then left 1, and that's also the same as 2. So I'm going to do that on this one. I'm going to go down 2, left 1. Notice how my line is still going up. You'll know you did it right, or at least you'll know you did it wrong, if your line's all of a sudden going down and you have a positive slope. So let's take a look now at number 4. Number 4 is a little tricky because you're going to end up with a decimal, but I know you guys can still do it. So first thing we're going to do is distribute in that 1/2. So I get y plus 4 is equal to 1/2 x. Now remember, 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. So you could look at that as -3 divided by 2. Well, -3 divided by 2 is a -1.5. Okay, I like to do decimals, at least at this part, for the y-intercept because it makes it easier to graph. So now I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and I get that y is equal to 1/2 x. -1.5 minus 4 is -5.5. Okay, so now we need to graph this. So we're at -5.5. So I'm going to go down 5, and I'm going to go halfway to 6 and graph that. Then my slope is 1/2. So I'm going to go up 1, so I'm going to go halfway between 4 and 5, and then over 2, and I'm going to plot that point. So now I can connect these two dots right here, and I have my line. So if I talk through that a little quickly, go ahead, rewind it, pause it, or since you're in class, feel free to ask questions as well. Okay? Let's take a look at 5 and 6. So what we need to do for this one, again, is we need to solve it. So we have 4x plus 2y is equal to 8. So this is the new form we just learned. This is standard form, so hopefully you're feeling a little bit more comfortable with it. In order to graph it, we have to solve it for y. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides, and then I get 2y is equal to a -4x plus 8. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And then I get -4 divided by 2, which is -2, and then x. And I also have to divide 8 divided by 2. Well, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So you need to make sure that you divide each term by 2. So now I can go ahead and I can graph this line. So I'm crossing the y-axis at 4. And then I'm going down 2 over 1. And then I can go ahead and graph that line. Okay, so all it is algebra. As long as you can solve for y and graph in slope-intercept form, none of these are that different. Let's take a look at number 6 now. So for number 6, we have 6x minus 3y is equal to a negative 12. So this is a positive 6x. So in order to get a positive 6x over to the other side, I need to subtract 6x. So then I get negative 3y is equal to a negative 6x minus 12. Then I need to divide both sides by a negative 3. So I'm going to take and I'm going to divide each of those terms. Notice I didn't add the 6x and the 12. Those are two different terms because one has an x and one doesn't. You can't add them together. So now I'm going to divide by that negative 3. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is going to be a positive 2, and I need to make sure I have that x there. Negative 12 divided by negative 3 is a positive 4. So we have y is equal to 2x plus 4. So we're crossing the y-axis at 4. And then our slope is 2, which is the same as 2 over 1. So I'm going up 2 over 1 and plotting that point. So I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots. And I have my line. So now you should be able to very easily do the back side of your practice sheet. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thanks for listening.